What's up, everybody? Sorry, welcome back to another live stream from the Scalar Learning channel. And today we are continuing for SAT prep leading up to this March SAT. And by the way, I'm taking the March SAT, so I'm really excited about that. You know me, if you do watch this channel a lot and you're a longtime subscriber, I love taking the SAT for the real time, in person, the real deal, alongside fellow students. It's pretty fun. So I'm looking forward to that. Robert mentioned, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. You said, did I mention to see the pre-calc example problems? I saw a video showing some of the pre-calc problems, but no, I haven't jumped on there and done it yet. I want to make a video once this kind of whole week is over. I want to make a video on that presentation as well, because I think there were some example problems, if I remember correctly, from the video. What's up, Nicholas? And welcome. And by the way, I did want to mention, guys, too, if you are prepping for the SAT coming up, I know other students of mine have done this, and I know it's down in the thing below. It says, check out math puzzles on YouTube. But you might be like, what are math puzzles on YouTube? So my other channel is called Math Puzzles, and you can check it out here. I'm going to post a link. So I definitely recommend checking this out as you're going through and preparing for the SAT. The reason being is because it has math puzzles that we try to release. We haven't released one for 2 weeks, but we're going to release a couple this week. We try to release at least 2 every week, so you can kind of just keep in the flow and keep working on your problem solving and reasoning skills, spatial reasoning, whatever it may be, that are sort of in line with sharpening your tools for math in general. So it is something that we definitely recommend. All right, today we're continuing the series. We are on practice test 1 still, but we're doing the calculator section. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up both a timer. Whoops, I meant to do that before. And we got 55 minutes on the clock for this section, right? We've got, let me just show you, 55 minutes and 38 questions. I did also bring up the formula sheet just to show you guys, hey, don't forget about this formula sheet. These can actually be used in some of the questions for sure if you've forgotten any of the formula. So make sure you know where that is. It's on the page right before here. And we got a timer, and we can use a calculator, so I'm just going to use the Google calculator, but you can bring a nice TI-84 if you own one. That's what I take with me to the SAT, so it's super helpful. All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, we're going to start the timer, and we're going to see what's what in. And by the way, I'm taking this in real time, so I may not be able to respond to your questions, but definitely put all the, hey, what's up, Diana? Put all the questions in the comment section or in the live chat, and at the end, I'll go back and I'll do my best to answer them. All right, here we go. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. John runs different speeds as part of his training program. The graph shows the target heart rate at different times. On which intervals the target heart rate strictly increasing and then decreasing? So this is a terminology thing. Increasing means a positive slope. Decreasing means a negative slope. So it would be basically, the only place where it's doing that would be like from here to here. Going up, positive, going down, negative. So that is between 40 and 60. Boom, done. Number 2. If y equals kx, k is a constant, y equals 24. So 24 equals k times 5. Wait, y equals k is a constant, y equals 24. Oh, no, when k equals 6, excuse me. Or sorry, when x equals 6, what is the value of y when x equals 5? Divide both sides by 6, divide both sides by 6. Boom, k equals 4. So now I'll set it up again. Y equals 4x. What is y when x equals 5? Plug and chug. 4 times 5 is 20. Boom, done. Number 3. In the figure above, lines L and M are parallel. So let's mark that, right? Lines L and M are parallel. And lines S and T are parallel. So we do the double markings here. Okay, 1 second. Boom and boom. Okay. If the measure of 1 is 35, so here this is 35 degrees, and what is the measure of angle 2? All right, so remember with parallel lines, we know a couple things. First, I'm going to find the vertical angle of 1, which is also 35, right? Vertical angles are equal. Then I'm going to say, well, wait a minute. These 2 lines are parallel. Excuse me. So this here is 35 because these 2 are corresponding angles. And then I can say that these are same side interior, which means they are supplementary. So angle 2 plus 35 is 180, meaning it has to be 145. Boom, done. Number 4. 14 plus 16. Okay, watch this. 16 plus 4x is, I always tell people the is your equal sign in these word problems, is 10 more than 14. What is the value of 8x? Underline that so you don't solve for x. You remember trying to solve for 8x. Okay. 16 plus 4x equals 24. Subtract 16 from both sides. Subtract 16 from both sides. 4x equals 8. X equals, divide both sides by 4. X equals 2. But they want 8x, so don't put 2. 8 times 2 is 16. Boom, done. Number 5. Which of the following graphs best shows a strong negative association? That means a negative slope. That is decent, but it's still a little scattered. So I would say no, that's like a slope of 0. This is a positive slope. Here's your negative slope, negative association. Boom, done. Numero 60. 1 decagram, 10 grams, 10 mil. Okay. A hospital stores one type of medicine in 2 decagram containers. So that was the same as 20 grams. Basic information given the bug. How many 1 milligram doses are there in 2 decagram containers? Got it. Well, 2 decagram is 20 grams. So 20 grams, multiply that by 20. I have to multiply this by 20, would be 20,000 milligrams done. Numero 70. The number of rooftops with solar panel installations in 5 cities is shown in the graph above. Total number of installations is 27,500. Let's write that up here. What is an appropriate label for the vertical axis of the graph? Okay. Oh, got it. It's whether it's in tens, hundreds. It's got to be in thousands, because then this would be 9,000, 5,000, 6,000, 4,000, and 3.5. So if you add them up, it's pretty obvious, right? 20, 27.5, 27.5. What? Right? If it's hundreds, then it's 2750. That doesn't add up to 27,500. So it's got to be in thousands. Boom, done. Number 8. For what value of n is this equal to 0? So again, I'm going to put it into an absolute value, right? Absolute value of n minus 1 plus 1 is equal to 0. So let's solve. N, absolute value of n minus 1 is equal to, subtract 1 from both sides, negative 1. Now we got a problem, right? Because I can't get an absolute value to equal a negative. So immediately I know there's no such value of n. And I know, like, sometimes when people are like, hey, I just feel like that's never the right answer. A lot of times it's not. I mean, that's probably a fair assessment, but in this case it is. The speed of sound waves in air depends on the temperature. The formula above shows a relationship between A, the speed of a sound wave in feet per second, and T, the air temperature. Okay, this is a isolating quantities question. I don't care about anything in this sense. All I want to do is isolate T. I know that because in all of these, T is isolated, so that's it. So first I'm going to subtract 1,052 from both sides. Boom, boom, boom. Divide by 1.08. Divide by 1.08. Boom. A minus 1,052 divided by 1.08 is A. Boom, done. Let me just make sure I didn't make a mistake. Minus, boom. Yeah, okay. Number 10. Oh, it's part of this, so. Which of the following numbers is not a... oh, no. That's the wrong question. At which of the following air temperatures will the speed of a sound wave be closest to 1,000? Hold on. What was speed again? Speed between A... Okay, so that's 1,000 is A. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in 1,000 for A, set it equal to 1,052 plus 1.08. I'm going to subtract by 1,052, and that's negative 52. Oh, there's my T. Negative 52 equals 1.08 T. And then we divide by 1.08, divide by 1.08. It's obviously going to be negative, but I will ignore that for now. So 52 divided by, I'll use my calculator here. And it's 48 negative, right? So do they have negative 48 degrees? Yes, they do. Boom, done. Numero 11. Which of the following numbers is not a solution? Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing I usually do, combine like terms and isolate. So I'm going to first subtract 3x from both sides. I got negative 5. Don't forget that minus sticks to the 5. It's sticky, right? So then it's x minus 3. Then I'm going to add 3 to both sides like this. Boom, boom. X is less than or equal to negative 2. So this is less than or equal to -2. This is less than or equal to -2. This is less than or equal to -2. Which of these is not a solution? A is the winner. Done. If you want to be extra safe, plug in -1 and make sure it's not doesn't ring true. That's -3 minus 5 is -8. Over here, -4 minus 3 is -7. Is -8 greater than -7? It is not, so it is not a solution. Number 12. Based on the histogram above, of the following, which is the closest to the average number of seeds per apple? So, wait a minute. So there's 2 3s, 4, you don't probably have to do this, but I'm just going to write it out. 4 with 5, 1 with 6, 2 with 7s, and 3 with 9. Okay, so I guess I'll do the calculation. I'll just do it mentally. So we have 6 plus 20 is 26, 32 plus 14 is 42, 46, 46 plus 27. You probably shouldn't do this mentally. Actually, that was not good. But 73 divided by 12, it's going to be about 6. Okay, I'm going to do it on the calculator just to be safe. I didn't make a mistake here. Hold on. So 6 plus, I'm going to sort of do it mentally. 6 plus 20 plus 6 plus 14 plus 27. Because that's a bad habit, right? Like, you shouldn't be too, too careless with the mental math. But anyways, I do a lot of mental math, so I'm pretty confident, but you never know. All right, let's see if I can get this whole thing in view. Shrink it down, and I'll expand it later. Group of 10th graders respond to a survey that math course they're currently enrolled in. Data survey broke down as shown above. Following categories accounts for approximately 19% of the survey respondents. So there's 310 people. So what is 19% of 300? So I do 0.19, move the decimal over twice, times 310, excuse me. So it's 58.9, so it's about 59. I see 59 here. Male geometry, boom, done. And 14. Oh, it's just one question. All right. Go in a little even more. The table above lists the lengths to the nearest inch of a random sample of 21 brown bullfish. Okay, so that's 7, 7, 7, that's 21. The outlier is 24. And if the outlier is 24. Of the outlier measurement of 24 is an error. Of the median, mean, median, and range of the values listed, which will change the most if the 24 outlier is removed from the data? Definitely the range, and I'm going to tell you why. The range is going to drop, instead of 8 to 24, which is 16, it's not going to be 8 to 16, which is only 8. It's going to drop by 8. That's crazy. Obviously, the median will be affected, but not nearly that much. I'm sorry, the mean will be affected, but not nearly that much. The median is currently this. The median won't change, so the median will not change. Because median is the middle, it's still going to be a middle of 12. Okay, 15 and 16. The graph above displays the total cost in dollars of renting a boat for H hours. What does the C-intercept represent in the graph? Okay, it's the cost of basically. So remember, Y-intercept in this case is C-intercept. It's the starting value what you pay even if you don't use the boat at all. So it's there it is. Look, initial cost, initial value. That's your Y-intercept, aka C-intercept. That's it. Numero 16. Which of the following represents the relationship between H and C? Okay. Let's see if we can come up with an equation for this without even looking at these choices. So I've got 2 points. I've got 1, 8, and I've got. Wait a minute. No. Oh yeah. I can't see. It's cut off. 1, 8, and 2, 11. So now I can calculate the slope by subtracting down. 8 minus 11 is -3 over -1. So it's got a slope of 3. So out. Oh, it's got to be C. But anyways, and then a y-intercept of 5. Boom. So it's 3h plus 5. Done. Yeah, nice. 17. The complete graph of the function f is shown in the xy plane. For what value of x is the value of f of x? For what value of x is f of x at its minimum? It's at its minimum right here, but they don't want the minimum value, which is -2. They don't want that. They said, what value of x is it when it's at its minimum? It looks like -3. Boom, done. Makes sense? All right, here we go. 18. In the xy plane, if 0, 0 is a solution to the system of inequalities, which of the following relationships between A and B must be true? Okay, let me think about this for a second. Oh, let's combine it. Let's say y is less than negative x plus a is greater than x plus b. Okay. So x has got to be negative, I'm assuming. Wait a minute. What's happening here? If it's less than that and greater than that, I've done this problem before. Oh, I know what to do. I was like, this is not the way to do it. Okay, so if 0, 0 is a solution, right? So I'm going to plug 0, 0 in for both of these. So 0 is less than 0 plus a, which means a is greater than 0. And then 0, 0, 0 is greater than 0 plus b, which means, so that means b is negative and a is positive. B is negative, a is positive, which means a has to be bigger than b. There we go. Yeah, just a little plug and chug, all right? 19, a food truck sells salads for $6.50 each and drinks for $2 each. The food truck's revenue from selling a total of 209 salads and drink. Hold on, food truck sells 50 each for salad. Let's say this is salads and drinks is Y. $2 for each Y. The food truck's revenue for selling a total of. So if I basically get my total amount of money, they said it's 8. This is a system of equations, right? 836.5. And then they said it's a total of 209. So again, what is X and Y? X and Y are the amounts of each. So they add up to 209. Now we got a system. Now we can solve. I'm going to use elimination. So I'm going to multiply the bottom one by -2. -2, because I'm going to try and eliminate the Y's. -2 times that is -418, right? So -418. Now we're going to add everything together. Those cancel out. 6.5x and salads is x. That's perfect. So this becomes 4.5x equals, let's do it. I can do that mentally. It's 408, because 418 is half of 836. So it's positive 418.5 divided by 4.5 divided by 4.5. Boom. And we get 418.5 divided by 4.5 is 93. So there's 93 salads, and there's got to be, let's see, 116 drinks, because that plus that is 109 or 209. And then just for fun, I'm going to do the math anyways. This is how we double check. So the drinks are $2. So 2 times 116 plus 6.5 times, what is it, 93? And we should get 836.50 if this is correct. Boom, nailed it. All right. 20. Alma bought a laptop, computer at a store that gave 20% discount off its original price. The total amount she paid to the cashier was P dollars. So she paid P, and which also included an 8% sales tax on the discounted price. So she got a price, okay, which the following represents the original price of the computer in terms of P. So let's say the original price is X. So she got a 20% discount, which means she only paid 80%. So instead of saying, hey, X minus 20% of X, I'm just going to be like, she paid 80%, 0.8. And then on top of this, she paid 8% sales tax. So I'm adding on 8%. Again, the easiest way to add on 8% is to multiply by 1.08, right? So then I'm doing that. And then they said, which of the following represents the original price of the computers, AKA we need to isolate X. So all I got to do is divide both sides by 1.08 times 0.8. 1.08 times 0.8. Boom, boom. X equals P over 1.08 times 0.8. Boom, done. 21. Let's zoom out just. That's fine. In the table data above. Let's go back to the timer. They're produced by a sleep researcher researching number of dreams. People were called when asked to record their dreams for 1 week. Group X consisted of 100. Y consisted of 100. Okay. Early, so I'll just write in early, because that's early and that's late. And if a person is chosen at random from those who recalled at least one dream, that would be this subsection here. Because here's 1 to 4 and 5 or more. What is the probability that the person belonged to group Y? Okay. So first of all, what's the total? It is 39, 160, 174. So it's something out of 174, which I don't even see anywhere. Oh, I did the math wrong. It's 164. Sorry. So I'm guessing it is obviously then C. But anyways, so what is the probability that the person belonged to group Y? So how many people are in group Y? This many. 79. So yeah, like I said, it had to be C. Boom, done. Now we should be getting into some of the harder problems because we're in this later zone. Okay, let's see. 22. All right. The table above illustrates the annual budget in thousands of dollars for each of 6 different state programs in Kansas. Got it. Education, general government, all this stuff, right? Okay. Which of the following best approximates the average rate of change in the annual budget for agriculture? So let's say, I'm going to circle this, from 2008 to 2010. So 2008 to 2010. And what is this in thousands? Thousands of dollars. So you add 3 zeros to those. So I'm going to subtract those two values, and that's over 2 years, right? So 488,106 minus 358,708. And I'm going to divide it by 2 because this is for 2 years. So for 1 year, it's 64. So 64, let's say 65,000, which is 65 million. 65 million per year. Boom, done. That's it. Of the following, which program's ratio is 2007? Okay, let me erase this. 2007 to 2010 budget is closest to the human resources. So 2007 to 2010. And human resources. So what was that? So it's like, I'm going to approximate. It's about 4 to 6, which is about 2 to 3. Okay. So we're looking for a 2 to 3 ratio from here to here. Look at this. Education looks like 2 to 3. Education. Okay. So education is 2 to 3. And agriculture, natural resources. Hold on. 373. I'm just going to approximate divided by 488. Now that's 75. That's 3 to 4. This is like 1 to 1. This is like definitely not 2 to 3. That is the one. And then this is too small. But I'll just prove it. 264. 263, but whatever. 2464. So that's like, yeah, that's like almost 51 to 2. So education is the winner. All right, we're done with these. Let's go back to the next one. Here we go. 24. Let's see the time. So we got tons of time. Which of the following is an equation of a circle with the xy plane with center 0, 4? What is the circle equation? You gotta know this equation. Always comes up. Y minus k squared equals r squared. They're saying the circle is 0, 4. So you just plug them in for h and k. Done. And the radius of, okay, so it doesn't tell us the radius. But I know it should just be x minus 0, which is x squared. And then y minus 4. So this one is y plus 4. That's out. That's out. So it's one of these two. All right. So we have to figure out the radius and then square it. So the radius, unfortunately, we're going to have to use the distance formula. The distance from the center to any end point, right? So distance formula is, let's do 0 minus the difference of the x values. I'll just say 0 minus 4/3, which is just negative 4/3, squared plus the difference of the y values, 4 minus 5, negative 1 squared. And the negative, it doesn't even matter because you're squaring it. So this becomes 16 over 9 plus 1. And I'm going to rewrite 1 as 9 over 9. I'm going to add them together. That's 25 over 9. Square root of that is 5 over 3. But this is not the answer because in the thing, we need to square the radius, right? So this squared is, of course, 25 over 9. So A is the winner. All right. 25. The equation above expresses the approximate height in meters of ball launched vertically upwards from the ground with an initial velocity of 25. Boom. After approximately how many seconds will the ball hit the ground? What are they looking for? They're looking for the x-intercepts. Hitting the ground, x-intercepts. Max height or something. That would be the vertex. All right. So we should do this by factoring t out, and we get negative 4.9 t plus 25. Obviously, we got 2 zeros here, right? X-intercept. So obviously when t equals 0, but that's irrelevant because we're trying to find how many seconds will the ball hit the ground, like after the fact. So we want to know when this guy is going to equal 0. and then we subtract 25 from both sides, negative 4.9t. I can already tell it's about 5, right? Because it's negative 4.9 is basically 5, but let's do it anyways, just for fun. 25 divided by 4.9, boom. And it's about 5 for the win, D, done. 26, Katerina is a botanist studying production of pears by 2 types of pear trees. She noticed that type A produces 20% more pears, 20% more, aka 1.2, than B, right? 120% of B is then therefore A. Because this one, and remember, you might be like, wait a minute, this is the bigger value. Shouldn't the 1.2 be here? But no, it's actually usually the opposite. We say give to the poorest. The smaller guy gets the number that's up in it, if that makes sense, increasing it. Now it says if type A produced 144, plug and chug, 144 equals 1.2 B. How many pairs did type B produce? Now we got an equation. I don't even have to think about it. I'm isolating and I'm good to go. 144, I already know it's 12 because it's like 144 divided by 12. Or sorry, 120, excuse me. Should be 120. Yeah. And that's it. Now you can just be like, hey, does that make sense? Right? So A is 144, B is 120. And it said she noticed that type A produces more. That is more than 120. It kind of makes sense, and we're good. 27. A square field measures 10 meters by 10 meters. Okay. Anytime I hear the word square, I draw a square. 10, 10. And it's like the region of the field. Each region square has a side of 1. So little dog inside, 1 by 1. I'll just kind of notate that there, 1, 1. And great, so it's 100 square meters. Yeah, students count earthworms containing the soil to a depth of 5 centimeters beneath the ground surface. The results are shown. And see how I always underline the numbers? Actually, I forgot to do it there. But anyways, usually I do. Which of the following is a reasonable approximation of number of earthworms to a depth of 5? Now, this 5 is actually a red herring because we're dealing with 5 regardless. It's not like it's a volume question. Basically, what they're saying is in each of these 10 samples, all right, we've gotten these different values. And that's for 1 by 1, meaning an area. Granted, it's a volume of 1 by 1 by 5, but it like I said, the 5 is irrelevant. For an area of 1, we can calculate an average value. And then we need an area of 100. So whatever we get for that, we multiply by 100. If you look at the answer choices, they're pretty spread out. So this is probably not going to be too difficult. If you wanted to be thorough, you'd add these all up and calculate the actual average. I'm not going to do that because I can see they're so far spread apart. And I can see the average is pretty close to 150, right? That's like kind of an outlier. That's maybe a slight outlier, but you got about an average of 150. Times 100, you just add the zeros. It's 15,000. And there's nothing else even close. 150,000, that's crazy. 1,500, that's way too small. And that's it. We're done. Because it said, what is the number of earthworms? Yeah, in the entire field. So 28, in the system of inequalities, this and this is graph. Which of the following quadrants contains no solution? All right, let's do an approximate graph here. So we're going to say y is greater than or equal to 2x plus 1. So that's a y-intercept of 1 and a slope of 2. Whoops, why is it doing a dotted line? Hold on, let's do this. Let's make it thinner. So like, it's not the most amazing graph in the world, but hey, it's good. And then y is, and this is going to be greater than, so we're going to shade everything above. Let's do that real fast. Okay, and then we need y is greater than 1/2 x minus 1. Oh, it's going to do these weird things. Let me see if this works. 1/2 x minus 1, like this ish, right? So it's a flatter slope. And let's do a different color for this one. And it says greater than, not greater than or equal to. So we need a dotted line. And I'll do this shading in blue, right? So we're shading everything above this guy. So the solutions are the overlaps. Like, oh, okay, I could actually shade all this too, right? Because that's shading everything above the blue line. But the solution set is in the overlap. It's where it's like almost that purple color. So it looks like we got solutions in quadrant 3, quadrant 2, and quadrant 1. So which quadrant contains no solutions? It looks like 4, right? Because this one doesn't even go in quadrant 4. Quadrant 4 is the winner. Done. Okay, number 29. For a polynomial p, the value p of 3 is -2. Which of the following must be true about p of x? All right, So what this is talking about the remainder theorem. So if they're saying P of 3 is -2, then P minus 3 can't be a factor because then they have a remainder of 0. So I don't know what these are even referring to, but it should be something dealing with x minus 3 when they're talking about P of 3. And they're saying exactly what the remainder theorem says. When you divide by x minus 3, the remainder is -2. It's the same as the function value. Boom, done. Number 30. Which of the following is an equivalent form of the equation of the graph shown in the xy plane above, from which the coordinates of vertex A can be identified as constants in the equation? Okay. What are they talking about? They're talking about vertex form. Okay. Well, there's only one equation, and you might be like, "Hey, we've seen you do this test before on your channel." I was like, "Yeah, no, it's been a while. I've just forgotten." But so I'm still having to process some of these. They're talking about vertex form. There's only one equation in vertex form, but these are in intercept form. This is in nothing form. This is like I don't even know what that is. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to verify that this is correct. All right. So if this is x squared minus 2x minus 15, and again, don't do this if you're running out of time. I'm just showing you the standard way to convert this into vertex form. So what you do is we quarantine kind of these two guys, and we keep the -15 out here like this. Then I do something called completing the square. So I say, what is half of this term squared? Half of -2 is -1 squared is +1. So I add 1. But if I add 1 to this side, I must also subtract 1 from this side. So it's like we're not changing the equation. Then I factor this, and it factors to x minus 1 squared. It's a perfect square. That's why I call it completing the square. -15 minus 1 is -16. That's the correct answer, and done. Okay, we got tons of time. We're on 31 now. The free response. I have to be a little careful on these because we can't rely on the multiple choice to be like, oh, we made a mistake because our answer's not there, right? Okay, Y can husk at least 12 dozen ears of corn and at most 18. Based on this information, what's the possible amount of time in hours that it could take Wyatt to husk? 72. So at a minimum, I mean, this is pretty straightforward, right? If he does 6 hours doing 12, that would be 72. Or he could do 4 hours getting at 18. I'm going to choose a nice safe number and say 5, but all three of these should be acceptable. All right, 32. The posted weight limit for a covered bridge in Pennsylvania is 6,000 pounds. Okay. A delivery truck that's carrying X identical boxes, each weighing 14 pounds, will pass over the bridge. If the combined weight of the delivery truck and the driver is 4,500 pounds, okay, what is the maximum possible value for X that will keep the combined weight of the truck driver? Okay. So we got 4,500 as my set amount, and then we've got 14 times the number of boxes. And we need to be, that will keep the combined weight of the truck driver below the bridge, has to be less than 6,000, and said maximum possible. So we need the biggest possible value. And we got an equation now we just solved. So subtract 1,500 from both sides. Not 1,500, 4,500, and we get 1,500. And then we divide by 14, right? And I use my calculator. 1,500 divided by 14 is 107. So the question is, it's 107 point something. Question is, do we keep 107 or do we round up to 108? Now, I know in standard, you don't round up period because it's below 0.5, but it's not that type of a rounding question. We're saying it's a maximum, right? And so I can't go above it. If I chose 108, we know it'd be above the 6,000. That's a problem. So 107 is probably where we can go. That's the sweet spot. And you can see 107 times 14 gives us this plus our driver and truck, and we're right under that limit. So you can tell one more box, we're going to be 12 pounds over the limit. 107 is the winner, and done. Just make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, we're good. Hold on. I have to plug in my coffee cup. 1 second. I got this cool coffee cup. It's called an Ember. And let's see if it works again now. Is it on? And it's really awesome because there we go. It keeps your coffee warm, and I drink coffee slowly, and it's amazing because the coffee is just at the perfect temperature. So they are not a sponsor, but they're awesome. Okay, according to the line graph above, the number of portable media players sold in 2008 is what fraction of the number sold in 2011? Okay, So we'd say it's 100 in 2008 out of 160. And I'm going to reduce this fraction just because this won't even fit in the free response. You can divide by 10, and then you can divide again by 2. So it's 5 out of 8 for the win. Done. That's it. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. According to Landgraph, the number of portable media players sold in 2008 was what fraction of? Yes, 5/8, right? 34. A local television station sells time slots for program in 30-minute intervals. Station operates 24 hours per day, every day of the week. What is the total number of 30-minute time slots station can sell for Tuesday and Wednesday? So that's 48 hours, and we're doing in half-hour slots. So it's basically 48. Instead of dividing by 30, I have to divide by that in hours, which is 0.5. And that's the same as multiplying by 2, which is 96. But just for fun, I'll show you. Divided by 0.5 is 96. Boom, done. Numero 35. We've got a dairy farmer sells orange in shape of right cylinder above. Remember that cylinder formula, if you need it, is at the front, but I'll just write it down for you. If the volume of the silo is 72 pi, what is the diameter? This gives us radius, so they underline it for you, which is really nice. So I'm going to just plug and chug into my formula. 72 pi equals pi r squared times height, which they give us is 8. I'm going to divide both sides by 8 pi because we're trying to isolate for r. Boom, boom. And then cancel out the pi's. R squared equals 72 divided by 8, which is 9. Take the square root. Take the square root. R equals 3. And I bet you a lot of people are like, sweet, 3 is the answer, but they didn't ask for radius. They asked for diameter. Diameter is 2 times the radius, which is 6. Boom, done. 36. For what value of x is the function h undefined? All right. I remember this problem really well because there's 2 ways that you can do it. So I'll show you both ways. It doesn't matter. Both will be fine. When is it going to be undefined, though? That's the key. When the denominator is 0. Can't divide by 0. So we want to know when x minus 5 squared plus 4 times x minus 5 plus 4 equals 0. So the first way is probably easier if you remember it. We can do a little substitution. Check it out. X minus 5. I'm just going to call that a equals x minus 5. Then I'm going to say a squared plus 4a plus 4 equals 0. This is really easy to factor, right? Boom, boom. And then it's a plus 2 times a plus 2, which is, of course, just a plus 2 squared equals 0. And then I can substitute the x minus 5 back in for a. So it's x minus 5 plus 2 squared equals 0. Negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. And that means my solution for x is 3. Then if you want to plug it back in, you can see that'd be negative 2 squared is 4. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8 plus 4. That will indeed give you 0 in the denominator. That's option 1. If you forget to substitute, just do your thing regularly. Foil that out, right? It becomes, I'm going to try and write it. Don't have a lot of room. X squared minus 10x plus 25. Oops. Plus 4x minus 20 plus 4. And what happens is it becomes, I'm trying to write it here, sorry, x squared, negative 10x, positive 4x is negative 6x. And then 25 plus minus 20 is 5 plus 4 is 9. So same thing, you factor it. It's still really not that bad, right? X minus 3 times x minus 3. So you still see 3 is the winner. Done. All right, 37, last 2 problems. We got crazy time right now, so this is great. Jessica opened a bank account that earns 2% interest compounded annually. Compound interest. Her initial deposit was 100, and she uses this expression to find the value of her account T years. That's pretty nice. Okay. What is the value of x? Well, what is the formula for compound interest? It's a equals principal times. Now, if it's annual, it's just 1 plus r to the t. Simple. We don't have to worry about n because we're just n is 1, meaning the number of times we compound it per year is 1. So we're chilling there. Then what is 1 plus r? Well, r is 2%, so that's 0.02 is the decimal equivalent. So that's the x value right there. 1 plus 0.02 is 1.02. Boom, done. Jessica's friend Tyshawn opened an account that earns 2.5% compound annually. Tyshawn made an initial deposit of 100. At the same time, Jessica made a deposit of 100 in her account. After 10 years, how much more money will Tyshawn's initial deposit have earned than Jessica's? All right. It's a small difference, right? 1.02 versus 1.025. So her money will be 100 and then round to the nearest cent. Okay. 100 times 1.02 to the 10th power. Tyshawn is Same value, 1.025 to the 10th power. We need the calculator, obviously, for this. Or I wonder if you could, yeah, this would be like, usually you can do this section without a calculator, but I don't know how you would do this one without a calculator. Like they say that technically you can do the whole thing without a calculator, but that is false here for sure. Times 100. So 121 for her, 121.90. I'm going to round to the nearest cent. No, I'm not going to round yet. Hold on. 899. We'll round at the end because it's a little dangerous. And then we have 1.025 to the 10th power, and then times 100 is 128.00845. Okay, I'm just going to take this answer. I'm going to subtract what I wrote down there, which is 121.89944. So hopefully I didn't make any mistakes, because if you did, you're kind of in trouble. And if you round it, you never know. If I round it early, I would have gotten a different answer, but it's so close. It's 6, not 0.10, but 6.11, right? Because we're supposed to round that to the nearest cent. And I feel like I remember this problem being 611, so I think that's right. But let's do it one more time to be safe. Watch. Now I'm not going to play any games here. I'm going to put the whole thing, 1.02 to the 10th power. Oops. 10th power. Minus, oh, I did it backwards, but it's okay. It'll just be negative. 1.025 to the 10th power. And you get exactly 611, so we're good. Okay, that is it. We got 16 whole minutes to spare. I know that's crazy. And look, there's two reasons for that. Number one, obviously, I practice a ton, and I'm pretty darn fast at this thing. Number two, I've taken this test a few times already on the channel, you can see. So, you know, it's not like I'm looking at it for the first time, which is how I usually like to do it. So those are the reasons. Let's grade this thing, because you never know. You can always be mistakes. And if there are mistakes, it's all good. I'll just explain why I was wrong. All right. Number one. BCDC. BCDC. Number 5 is DDCD. DDCD. Number 9 is ABAC. ABAC. Yeah. Number 13 is CCAC. CCAC. 17 is BABD. BABD. And 21 is CBBA. CBB. One sec. Uh, 25 is DBCC. DBCC. And we've got 29, which is DD. Yeah, all the multiple choices correct. Sweet. Number 31. Any number between 4 and 6, inclusive. So I chose 5, good to go. 107. 5/8 is good, or 0.625. They accept the decimal equivalent, 96. We got 6 here, right? Remember I said watch out for the 3. And then they got 3 down here, which is the 0. And then we got 1.02 and 611 for the win. Yeah. All right, so those are all correct. Let's go to the chat. Okay. All right, let me see what we got here. I don't see Zoe here. I had a question. Do you also teach grammar in English? I do not, but people on my team do. We've got Rose, we've got Alice, we've got Olivia. Olivia's kind of the seasoned vet. She's got some videos up here on SAT stuff, so yeah, it's pretty cool. How was the March SAT? Tell us. Writing was hard. Okay. I have PSAT tomorrow. Good luck for the PSAT. Okay. When you're under strict timing. Okay. I mean, I got 2 suggestions. Number 1, practicing a ton will weed out these timing issues. All right. And a lot of the anxiety that comes with that. That's why I tell everybody. So a lot of times I don't even see time being an issue with my students, because my students do the requisite work. Number 2, I mean, you should maybe it's a chance maybe you have major test anxiety. Maybe you can get accommodations. I would see if that's a possibility at your school. Watch these videos, the previous ones you recommend. I'm already solving QA's test. Oh, if you already seen all these videos, yeah, definitely, definitely critical concepts. It also depends on where you're scoring DN, XIE. But the critical concepts are more like early on if there's stuff you're missing. So if you feel like you know all the concepts, then I would skip that for now. But then I would go to the Perfect 800 playlist, and you got to know all the critical formulas. So I've got a video called the Formula Bible. What's up from Uzbekistan? Amazing. Somebody from yesterday was from Uzbekistan. Hold on. You prep for other sections as well. Yeah, my other students do. I mean, my other tutors do, but not me. Tell us everything we need to know to get an 800 in math, right? So again, it's got a lot of the stuff. The key part for the video course, and he's talking about the course. You can buy it down in the description link below, and I just slashed the price from $30 to $15 a month. Basically, what that has that is not on my YouTube channel is 4 additional amazing practice tests and video explanations per question. So it's not like a long video where you kind of skip around. It's like every question you're like, hey, I got this one wrong. And then you can click the video. So that content is not available anywhere else, anywhere on my channel or anywhere on YouTube. So that's really the benefit of that. If you're looking for additional practice tests, that's why I cut the price for a lot of you guys in March taking it. So you can buy it and use it and then cancel and just pay $15 for like 4 amazing practice tests and video explanations. How can I get faster? Practice. What is Olivia's YouTube? She's on our channel, but if you want to see here, I'll show you a video of her right now. And just hit us up at tutoring@scalarlearning.com and you can check her out. But here's probably her most popular video, as I'll find it. Where is it? There's this, but there's another one that's pretty big. Olivia English. Okay, oh, here it is. So this one's been pretty popular, and I've used it too when I take the SAT, and we'll probably re-watch it before there it is. Okay, March SAT is a week from Saturday. For my tutoring service, okay, so all our prices are on our website. I don't want to talk about them here, but like you just go to our website and it shows the prices for all of us. Obviously I'm kind of like been doing this for a long time, so my prices are definitely a little bit higher, and you can see there's other tutors based on how long they've been doing this at different prices. So you can check it out and see if one of the prices are right for you, and obviously if not, the video course is a much more affordable option. And yeah, it's still possible to boost your score. Sean, the math is the easiest to boost. You haven't left yourself a ton of time, but what I would do if I were you, if you're serious, is I would take an SAT minimum every day this week. Every day. Watch my videos. Watch the critical concept series. Relearn everything you can. You know, it's generally would be better to have more time, but it's only March. You got tons of time. You can take it again in June. Take it again in October. All right. All right, guys, I got to bounce. Best thing to do the week before is cram like we're doing now. Somebody asked on my channel, hey, isn't cramming bad? Yeah, in general, but if you got no other choice, if you're in the situation now, you're in the situation. There's nothing you can do. You're going to have to cram. You're going to have to go as hard as humanly possible. So arguably the biggest test of your life, and it's gonna have a lot of ramifications. So I say do whatever you can. I wish you all the best of luck. I got to bounce, guys. But keep me posted. Let me know how it turns out, and subscribe. And I'm streaming tomorrow. Remember, the calendar is up. Tomorrow the live stream is at 10:30 a.m. PST. So I'll see you guys then. Make sure to join. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like if you did like the video, and I will see you in the next.